Here we go. G is with me this morning here in the Aired Out podcast. 9:02. Look at this, buddy. We are like...
You're late.
I was a little late. And I want to tell everyone right now that the milling, that's what they call it when they're grinding all of the asphalt to make room for, new asphalt. Do I sound like I'm a DOT engineer?
No, but you look like crud today, dude.
What?
You look like crud.
Why?
I don't know. You just don't look... I don't know. You got out of the car. I watched you walk over to my car, and I was like, damn, you look like crud today.
But that's not what you said. You said you look like shit.
Well, yes.
Off.
But I think you kind of look crappy.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And good morning to all our viewers.
Good morning. Boy, you got some people that really love you, buddy.
Who, me?
Yeah.
What's wrong with them?
Who
wants to wake up to me in the morning? Jeez.
God.
Oy.
Oh, we have so much to talk about this morning. I have to, oh, God.
Number 5, people. Watch out.
Wait, show that again.
Number 5. It's the number 5.
Oh, my God. Good morning.
Time to wake up.
And good morning to Glenn and Crystal. And I have to say, Glenn's saying right off, it's his allergies. Please let me say something. I have never in my whole life been affected by allergies.
Yeah.
What's going on? Because the older I get, now I'm like, I see all the pollen all over my car. I see that.
I know. I washed mine and boom, next day, pollen everywhere.
I am so affected. You can hear it. But I'm so affected by it, buddy.
You know why?
Now. Is it because I'm getting older?
Yes. It's your body.
I'm serious.
Yes, your body is crumbling. It's getting older. Crumbling. Look at you. I mean, come on.
Look at my eyes. Look at you're right. I do look like shit.
Right?
Ooh,
damn.
God. Hold on.
That's not helping. It's not helping, buddy. Sorry.
So yesterday,
yeah,
it started in, and I had a sneezing fit. And
did people say Gesundheit over and over and over again?
I was actually thinking about you and our conversation about sneezing.
And you know what I would say, right?
You would wait until I was done.
And then I would say, Are you
done?
finished?
Yeah. And then I would say yes, and you would say
Gesundheit.
Right. But
or Nastrovia. Whatever.
Do you know that it went on yesterday for about an hour? I could not stop it. And it was driving Sherilyn Just.
I was going to say, I could
Oh.
see her looking at you going,
Oh.
what's wrong with you? Stop that.
Well, it was
Stop that.
it was a lot more than what's wrong with you. But believe me. Oh my God. Seriously? And oh my God, buddy, it was so bad.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see you. Welcome to Thursday. It is now the 15th of May.
Yep.
It's 9:06. It's 66 degrees. We've got some clouds to start out today. Maybe a little thunderstormage developing this afternoon. 76 degrees for the high today. Tonight, partly cloudy. A little bit of patchy fog. 59. And then tomorrow, Friday, we got a mix of clouds and sun in the morning, followed by cloudy skies. And maybe some rain coming in for the afternoon. Could be in the form of a thunderstorm. And 82 degrees. It's going to be muggy tomorrow.
And raining.
And raining. Are you happy that your monitor is working?
I am very happy.
Let me hear it.
I am very
hear all
happy.
about it.
It's nice to know that after 100 years, I finally have a frickin' monitor here.
Yeah.
I mean, good job, buddy.
Well,
Good job.
it took a lot of effort
Where'd you get the monitor?
from you.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah.
Didn't I say the only way I'd have a monitor here is if I gave you a monitor?
Yeah, and it's just occurred to me that I haven't paid you yet for it.
Well, that's not the point. The point is it's about time we have a monitor here. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, when you're sitting in this chair,
Right.
JD is on the other side with the monitors facing him, so you can't see when you're on or when
Right.
he's on. So he'll be like, look at this, buddy. Look what I'm posting. I'm like, how can I see it when there's nothing in front of me? So I've been asking for months and months and years. Oh, my God, since the dinosaurs were around,
Yeah.
I've been asking for a monitor. And finally, like now you're on.
Yeah.
And I can see that you're
Right.
on.
One of the reasons why I got a monitor is so that you could see how much you talk with your hands.
Yes.
And since you've been on the Aired Out podcast, I am finding that I am talking more with my hands now.
So you're a wannabe Italian.
I'm a wannabe Italian.
Yeah. Well, stop that.
Oh, my God, buddy. Listen, I have so much to tell.
There's so much to talk
There's
about.
always so much to talk about.
Oh my gosh! And you don't, and you know, you wanna start a morning off with a lot of good stuff.
We have good stuff.
But there's a lot of stupid stuff that makes the good stuff difficult to deal with.
Like the Chromebook challenge.
The Chromebook challenge. Yes.
So basically this is anytime I see the word challenge
Right.
and it's it's developed by kids, it's usually involves some stupid shit, and there's always all
Always.
kinds of
Always.
and so many of these things are frankly can risk your life. I mean,
Right.
remember the one where surfing on someone's car? You'd get up on someone's
Yeah.
car and you'd surf.
Or putting a soap pod.
Yes.
What was that all about?
That was the pod challenge.
Yes, which was ridiculous.
You consume it
Yeah.
so that you can go to the ER and maybe die.
Right. Which is always a fun thing to do.
Always fun,
It's like,
yeah.
should we do this on Friday or should we do it on a Monday?
Right.
And I say get through the week and then take the pod on Monday
Yeah.
so you don't have to deal with Tuesday.
The latest is the Chromebook challenge. And yes, Patty, I'm going to get to it. But the Chromebook challenge is this thing where, and I don't know what kid, it always starts with one kid
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, because I'm so bored, why don't we start taking paper clips and thumbtacks and
And
pencils,
the lead in pencils.
the
yes.
lead in pencils
Yep.
and whatever we can find,
Yeah.
and as long as it conducts electricity.
Of course.
You wouldn't want to use water or
Why? No.
Coca-Cola or anything
No, use something that is sure to make it a
like that.
thing.
Short circuit.
A thing.
Right.
Right. It becomes a thing.
And you stick it into the ports.
Yes.
The USB ports, and hopefully it will short out and start smoking, which, of course, the gases that are coming off these lithium
not
batteries
healthy for you. Yep.
are like super toxic.
Yep.
That in itself alone is so dangerous.
Right.
Okay. And then we do this in hopes that the smoke will then eventually turn to fire.
Right. Which is exciting because they do it at school.
Right.
Which means
The
that
fire alarm's going to
fire
get.
alarm goes off, and then the fire department comes because they have nothing better to do during the daytime but
Exactly.
sit around eating donuts, waiting for the school to call
Sure.
to say, hey, we now have a potential fire.
We need to close the school down.
We need to close the school down, which upset one individual because he was in the middle of his AP test.
Yes.
So he said, I was upset because I was actually in the middle of my AP test. It's like, what the?
Yeah. I know, man.
And so now all the kids, because this is our future,
Yes.
these are our leaders of the future,
Yeah.
the mini Donald Trumps, who are out there putting things in computers to start fires.
Yeah.
It's a trend. It's a thing. It sounds so cool. Let's do it.
And man, it's like and you know what? You know what I'm going to get?
What?
I'll tell you exactly what.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a message either right now or later today from a listener, from someone.
Right.
Well, JD, you shouldn't be bringing any more attention to it. Why are you talking about it on your podcast?
Well, we're talking about
now
it.
you're promoting it.
Because we're bringing awareness to people so that we know what's going on. We want people to know what's going on so when they have a kid at home who has a Chromebook,
Right.
that they can now know that that's a thing, that could
Yeah.
happen, and
Sure.
we need to monitor that. So that's why we're bringing it up.
You know, here's the thing, buddy. When I was in elementary, which, by the way, this is in elementary schools, not just middle
Right.
and high
Back
schools.
in the dinosaur age.
Right. But the fact that this is happening in earlier than high school,
Right.
earlier than middle school,
Right.
elementary school,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
When I was in elementary and middle school, both, especially as a boy, my mom had 2 boys. That's it.
Right.
We were looking for opportunities to take risks.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
My father would always say, I don't give a shit what you do. Don't hurt somebody else.
Right.
Try
Mm-hmm.
not to get arrested.
Right. Right.
You want to make an ass out of yourself?
Have at it.
Go ahead.
Yep. Yep.
So, we did some whacked out things, but we never did something so stupid like
No.
this.
I mean, the highlight of our childhood was standing on the roof and jumping onto a pile of dirt
Or leaves.
or leaves. And the worst that could happen is we'd either sprain or break an ankle or something.
That's exactly right.
okay. But everything we did, we used to do it for us.
Correct.
We didn't do things that would hurt other people. We didn't even think about that. Think about
It
this for a
wasn't
minute.
even the internet.
It wasn't even in our head, though. We never said, what can we do to go out and hurt other people?
Right.
We never thought of that.
Never.
And now our elementary kids
Yeah.
are coming up with all these things to do
That are destructive.
that are destructive not only to their personal stuff,
Sure.
but to people around them.
Right.
And the parents, not my kid.
Late 70s. Evel Knievel
Yes.
was a thing.
Yes. Get on your bicycle and you jump that little ramp that you made.
I'm sure that there's little youngins like Crystal Gale, maybe Patty. Glenn knows what I'm talking about because he's older than shit. Knows what Evel Knievel is.
Right.
But Evel Knievel was a thing.
Oh, it was very much a thing.
And it was...
And there was no disclaimer saying, don't do this at home.
or Evel
Yeah.
gets sued.
Yeah. There was no disclaimers about this because we weren't stupid enough to jump off a building 12 stories high to try to cross it to another building. We weren't that stupid. And now kids today are like, think we could ride that bike across that 20-foot story building over to the other 20-foot story building? Because Tom Cruise does it on Mission Impossible. so we can do it. It's like you're almost afraid to put things on TV these days because people are going to try it.
Yeah, right.
They don't realize that these stunts and these things that they've seen
Sure.
are all monitored and practiced and rehearsed. You know,
Yeah.
even when you watch the TV show Ridiculousness.
Sure.
Okay, have you ever seen that show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they show all these stunts of what people do, and I just shake my head. I mean, I laugh because some of them are just idiots.
Right.
But the stunts that they do, and then they say, don't try this at home, and blah, blah. The kids look at this stuff and they say, wow, let's try that. Let's stick a fucking, what do you call it, into a computer and watch it smoke and
Right.
watch the gases come
Sure.
up so that we can get the fire department here. And then we get to go home for the day.
Right. Now, with all of this said, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm contradicting myself. Jackass was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
I love
They're,
I
yeah.
love Steve-O.
Yeah.
I love all of those guys. I love the movies. I love Jackass.
Right.
But man, it's like I remember trying to jump a parked car that was parked at the bottom of the hill that I lived on.
Yep.
And all the neighborhood kids were getting together. We had our little bicycles with the banana seats and the tassels.
Right.
And we're like, we weren't distracted by cell phones and the internet and tablets. And we were like, we're kind of bored. What can we do? I got a great idea. Why not try to jump this parked car?
Right.
Why not? why not?
Where
It's there.
where our parents saw us doing that, and they said, "Why?"
Yes, and that's why I love Steve-O and these guys because they get it. They
Yeah.
get it. How far can we push the limit?
Right.
And we took safety precautions.
Right.
By raking a huge pile of leaves and putting that in the front.
Right.
It's the
because
landing
if you
pad.
landed on it, you were safe.
Absolutely.
I mean,
There's
no
no
harm.
risk.
Right. What harm could happen
Right.
when you jump from a 5-story building into a pile of leaves?
Right.
It's your cushion.
Sure.
I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We went out to the shed. We got a 4x8 sheet of plywood and a trash can, and we leaned the plywood up on the trash can.
Yeah.
And I took it a step further. I wore my bicycle helmet
Good boy.
and a life jacket. Just for added
Well, yeah, added protection.
padding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And God forbid you jumped into the leaf pile and you went under the leaves. At least a life jacket would bring you back up. So you wouldn't suffocate in the leaves.
I went right through the leaf
Well
pile.
thought out.
Yeah. Smashed the whole back. I wasn't going. I don't know if I was just not going fast enough or what. Smashed the back of the car. Went up, rolled over the top, came down, missed the leaf pile, broke my leg.
Yeah.
And I did break my leg.
Yeah. And you said, cool.
And that was back in the days when you had a real plaster
Yes.
cast.
Oh, my gosh. Remember
Do you remember the
those?
plaster casts?
Oh, my goodness. You couldn't do
Holy-
squat with that.
No.
You couldn't even barely walk with that. You always
Oh.
had to have crutches.
And stink?
Yeah.
The
And there was no
stench.
no little booty you could wear. You literally had crutches. Listen, I went to school when I was in Catholic school. I went to school, and one of my good friends, he was so accident prone. He
Yeah.
had very brittle bones. And if it wasn't the leg, it was the arm. If it
Sure.
wasn't the arm, it was the hand. This poor guy always had casts on.
Yeah.
And he was always uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's not like these beautiful casts they get today that
Right.
are,
Fiberglass, lightweight.
yeah. Oh, it's lightweight. You know what?
Yeah.
The kid was stupid enough to do that. Give him a heavy cast.
Yeah.
Let him suffer a little bit. But what do I know?
Oh my God.
What do we know?
A couple of birthdays today.
Yeah.
Mary Bernier. Amanda Bumps is on the list today. Let's see. Randy Oakes Sr. And that's it for birthdays. Short list today.
Short list, yeah.
On this, what, May 15th?
Yep.
God, already the middle of the black flies.
Oh, my gosh. Like from nowhere. All of a sudden, 2 days ago, I've been out working on my garden and stuff, and after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, get inside or get into some kind of netting because they are out. I mean,
Unreal.
I'm bitten all over the place from
Yeah.
them.
So here's my story. Yesterday, last night, whatever I posted. Oh my God, I got to share the story with you.
Yeah.
You're not.
But
gonna
you
believe
wouldn't
this.
even give me a hint.
No.
No.
Did you talk to Chuck? Because I called Chuck last night.
I did not talk to Chuck.
All right, because I was afraid that he was going to kind of break the confidentiality.
Well, before you tell the story, I do have to say on the air that I
Yeah.
told Chuck many times
Yeah.
that I don't have TikTok. And many times
that too.
and many times he sends me these links to something funny on TikTok. And I'm like, I can't see it, people. I don't have TikTok. So maybe everybody on here could send Chuck a message
Great
saying,
idea.
G doesn't have TikTok.
And neither does JD.
And neither does JD. So stop sending
Stop.
these things about TikTok.
I know.
What's wrong with him?
There's something.
Ah.
It's really something.
I thought maybe the AC/DC concert would reset him, but apparently it
Oh,
only
my-
made him weirder.
Oh my God. So
Anyway.
listen. So
Yes, so tell me your
So,
story.
so my buddy Andy and I we're out on Ricker Pond.
Right. How is Andy?
Andy's great.
He's
man.
awesome.
He's great.
All right, move on.
And the black flies, there were. What's bigger than trillions? Is there
Zillions.
zillions?
Let's say zillions.
Are you making up zillion?
Quadrillion, billion, zillions. Yeah.
You're starting to sound like you're making up big numbers here.
Well, I'm used to listening to Donald Trump talk, so.
The swarms of can I say gazillions?
Gazillions, sure.
Okay. That's like trillions.
Multi-gazillions.
Multi-gazillions.
Yes.
The black flies are unbelievable.
Yes.
I mean, swarms.
And they hurt.
They almost picked up the kayak and carried it away. Both of us had, knowing this, had the hairnets. We brought hairnets.
Yes.
Did we look ridiculous?
Of course.
Yes, we did.
Hair nets or the bees nets?
Well, they're similar.
The hat with the net.
It wasn't the actual hat.
You just wore the net.
The net.
That's weird.
You wear a hat you wear a hat underneath the net, and
Right.
then it kind of, looked like complete asses.
Right.
Didn't care.
Right. Well, you're out on the water.
We're out on the water, and they're all over. The black flies are all over it, and I could.
Yep.
I could see them walking around.
Yeah, and they're
How do we-
they're on the net by your ear, so you.
Yeah. How do we get in there?
Yeah.
What did I do? I'm like, God, this is so beautiful. Look at this. But I'm not really seeing it as beautiful as it could be. I think I'll take my hairnet off for just a minute.
No.
Just so I can see how beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Lift it up. Take it off. Half a second. Zip! In the ear.
Oh my gosh.
When I say in the ear,
Yeah.
I'm talking 10 feet in.
Yeah.
This black fly was right into my cranium.
Ugh.
Beyond the eardrum. Beyond whatever that shit is in there.
Cochlea or whatever that is.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Through the membrane. And I'm talking like miles.
Did you
deep.
feel like Kennedy Jr. with the worm in his head?
Oh my God.
You had a black fly in your head.
God. I'm like, and I'm panicking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do? Put the hairnet back on because,
So now it's
That makes
inside
sense.
the net.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that's logical.
I'm in full panic mode.
Right.
What am I going to do? I'm out there in the middle of the lake.
With a hairnet and acting like that, so now you look
but-
really
But,
weird.
gee, here's the thing, bud. When you're out in a kayak out in the middle of the lake,
Nowhere to go.
no. Well, that, but you can't move around like that
No.
or you're going to go over.
Right.
I'm doing this, buddy. And
Did
I'm
you
like,
go over?
I didn't go over.
Damn.
I know.
That would have been
I'm just being that. That's. I could have said that I did,
Right.
but that wouldn't be true. It would have made for a better story. There's no question.
No, but people that know you,
Yeah.
we're visualizing you with the net on, going like that while something is in your ear climbing through your cranium. I mean, that's priceless.
Yeah. Right.
That's priceless.
And I'm sure there were people out there on the peninsula looking, going, look at that poor man with epilepsy. trying to enjoy a trip on his kayak.
Either that or they thought you were special.
Don is asking if I got it out. No.
Is it still in there?
I don't know. I didn't feel it crawl out. Maybe it came out the other end.
Well, we'll
I don't
find
know.
out in a few months. If you start having little black flies coming out, then you know the babies are being set free. Time to fly, my children.
The larvae. It's like, where is this guy?
Right.
Is he somewhere inside my head?
He could be.
Right now.
He could be.
He's looking around going, holy shit.
It's empty in here.
Where the hell am I? Marge! Just saying, buddy.
Do you know one time, because I hate fishing. I know, everybody, I'm sorry. I'm a city boy. Okay? I'm a city boy. I don't like fishing. And one time Jed said to me,
I can't believe we're friends.
oh, yeah, I know. And Jed said to me, come on, let's go fishing. And I was like, I really don't want to, blah, blah, blah. And the last time we were out, all I was doing was going, damn it, God, what is with all these bugs? I kept swatting them. I hated it. So the next time we went fishing, Jed says to me, come on. I said, I hate the bug. No, come on, I got you. We get there. He pulls out this hat.
Oh.
And the hat has this net that hangs down past your shoulders.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tighten it so
Yes.
nothing can get in. I didn't care what I looked like. I put that on, and there's Jed fishing going like this, getting rid of, and I'm just sitting there having a soda going, well, gosh, this looks like fun, and nothing bit me. So if I'm going to go out, like I want to go out later in the garden and work, I got to do it before a certain time because for some reason in the afternoons, that's when the black flies come out.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And they hurt. I've got one that bit me on my arm, and I'm still scratching it 2 days later.
I don't know what's worse, black flies or mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. The black flies are attracted to black.
Right.
So,
Do you think it's because of the name?
I don't know, man.
Should we call them African American flies? Because I don't know if that's appropriate to say that.
That's not.
That's not very PC.
No.
So I don't know. What say you, America?
I went hiking up. I went hiking. And I had a black shirt on a few days ago. And I'm not sure what it was that I was thinking. I'm like, why did I
you
wear-
gave them an invitation.
Literally, I'm standing there, and they're all like right here, all around
And
me.
there's so much of you, so there was a lot of black.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's not like me, I mean, I put black on, there's only so much. But
Can you believe that this man is lambasting me as hard as he is?
Who, me?
This is only the first half of the story.
I know. Oh, there's more.
Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So I'm out there, all right, and I know that this has happened to other people, but this was the first time that something to this level happened to me.
Okay.
I was dragging a lure. I was fishing, and I don't have much luck when I fish. My whole life, I just don't. And, all of a sudden, now listen, I know that at times I've been known to slightly exaggerate things.
No. No.
Believe it or not,
No.
take a deep breath. I actually have.
No. I'm saying no because you used the word slightly.
Oh,
You said slightly exaggerate. No. Just take the word slightly out and continue the story.
please understand. I'm begging you. I am not exaggerating.
Okay.
This is the real unexaggerated.
You're not over the cup there. You're staying in the cup.
Normally M. This time I'm in the cup.
Okay.
I'm going along, paddling along, and had the fishing rod down here.
With the bug in your ear.
Bugs. No, the bug at some point, the black fly at that point, I think had
Escaped.
succumbed to its injuries. It was somewhere.
Okay.
I'm still in there
Okay.
because nothing ever comes out once
Right.
it goes in there.
Right.
So I'm going along, and all of a sudden, my fishing rod literally jumps off of my lap, comes up, smacks me in the face. The
Okay.
reel, boom, right here.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, oh, okay, oh my God. Instantly, oh my God, I've snagged a log, a tree, a stump, something.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Could have been.
Could have been.
Champ, who knows? And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm not a fisherman. You know,
Right.
I don't know these things.
Right.
But when I grabbed the fishing pole, which is up here, as soon as I felt it, I could feel that it was a fish.
Right.
And it wasn't just like a little 6 or 7 inch perch like I would normally catch.
This was huge.
Gee.
Huge.
Now, see, you're making fun of me now. You're exaggerating.
It's too easy.
You're you're exaggerating.
I'm a little bit outside the cup.
I'm inside,
Okay.
and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. So I've never I've just never experienced anything like this.
Right.
The reel, I don't know what the drag was set as. I don't know any of that shit. I'm literally going like, and
Yeah.
it's fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, real tremendous.
Mhm.
Okay, and I look. Of course, this lure is dragging like 100 yards behind my kayak,
Right.
and I look out, and I see this monster fish jump up out of the lake, and I'm like, oh my God, that's the fish.
Yeah.
It was massive. Comes back in, and I'm like, I'm fighting, man. I'm like, I'm really working. I couldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. Regular freshwater fishing pole.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it for a long time. Bent over. I'm working it, and I'm the whole time I'm out there going, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit.
It's a big one, people.
Holy,
Oh,
oh my God.
oh.
Sherilyn! Oh my God. Somebody help!
Call in the Coast Guard. I need help.
And I'm working it. And I couldn't believe, I just literally, this rush, I understand, like when hunters
Uh-huh.
get that like high,
Yep. Yep.
I understand that now. This
Monster.
flush came over me
Yeah.
of like excitement and adrenaline, and
Yeah.
it was like massive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've caught a fish before, and there's excitement, yes, and even a good-sized fish, but never a freaking whale.
Now it's a whale.
It was a humpback.
Yeah, oh.
Okay, all right.
Feel like maybe you're dipping out of
All
the
right.
cup a little bit.
I'm exaggerating a little bit. And
if it's a humpback
I'm
whale,
pulling-
it's a lot.
I'm pulling this thing in, and I'm literally, dude, I'm coming unglued. You should have seen me.
Mm-hmm.
Almost brought my GoPro, forgot it.
Of course.
And I'm still disgusted with myself. Glenn Brummert saying fishermen tell the best fish stories. Glenn, this one is not a story. This is the truth.
Yeah, a humpback whale, Glenn. This is true.
slightly smaller.
So,
So
dolphin size.
this thing, I'm serious. I'm working and working and working, and I can feel it's getting closer and closer.
Yep.
And it gets maybe 20 yards out, and I could see it on the surface flapping around, and I'm like, oh my God. Gee, please believe me, I'm asking you.
Okay.
As my friend,
Okay.
it had to be 2 feet long.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not shitting you.
Okay.
It got closer to the boat, It came up. It's right next to me now. I look down, and it's diving.
Uh-huh.
And my fishing pole, I literally thought it was going to snap. It was bent right over, like an upside-down letter U.
Yep.
And it came up again, and I looked. It came over on its side. That's 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's 24 inches.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm fumbling for the net. I couldn't let go of 2 hands on my pole for the other hand
Right.
to grab my net.
Right.
I'm trying to hold the reel and the fishing pole in my right hand while with my left hand I'm fumbling for the net.
Right.
Going, God damn it, son of a bitch. And I'm fumbling around. I'm panicking
Yep.
like my life depended upon
Right.
it. And
it probably did.
it did.
Yeah.
Got the net. Put the net in the mouth because you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's your third hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the net in my mouth, and it's right here. I'm looking over. This thing is it's a monster.
Right.
I grab the net. I reach down to scoop it up, and it takes a dive underneath the kayak and snap.
The string.
Gone.
Thusly leaving no proof at all of the amazement of this whale-like,
my GoPro.
yeah, of this amazing whale-like creature that you had encompassed into your world, and no proof that it even existed. Curious.
Do you want to know? Do you want to know something? This is very unexpected.
Uh-huh.
I cried.
Aw. Now, did you cry because you lost the whale, or you cried because what? Because
Well,
you did
that's-
all that work and nothing to show for it? Or did you cry because the whale left and still has a hook in its mouth? I'm just trying to understand.
These are all very valid questions.
Very valid. And the fact that it was a whale, where were you fishing?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
I've already said it. I'm not going to say it again.
So it was a
'Cause then
pond?
Glenn Brummert's going to be out there trying
Was
to
it
go
a
get
pond or something?
it. May or may not have been.
So just a quick question. How did the whale get into the pond?
There could be underground springs.
Yeah, that whales go under and come up in a pond. I can see how you would have been sad. I could see
Yeah,
that.
I mean, Glenn says he cried when he was 9 years old. Glenn, 54, buddy.
Yeah, well.
I'm out there in the middle of this.
You're 54 chronologically, but you're kind of 9. You're kind of 9
Buddy,
in
this-
personality.
This really hurt.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see it in your eyes.
This hurt.
Yeah,
And I was devastated.
yeah.
Because when you got a monster like this on the other end of your line, it's a guarantee.
What kind of a fish was it?
Bass.
Okay. You sure it was a bass?
I'm sure it was a bass.
All right.
So I saw it.
So
clear
it's
as-
not a humpback whale.
It was a bass as big as a humpback whale. I could not believe it, man. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
that's disappointing.
I never expected my line. You don't think about that.
Yeah.
You've got it. You've
Yeah.
caught it. You're reeling it in.
Well, you brought it all the way up to the
boat.
kayak, so you're like,
I got the net.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah.
And
You gonna be okay?
I'm gonna be okay. But I got to tell you, for the longest time, I mean, it's like all this excitement, and then it comes to a screaming halt,
Yeah.
like half a second.
Yeah. And it's like, what do I do with all that excitement now?
I know. I was stunned.
Yeah.
Stunned. I'm sitting out there.
Deer in the headlights.
Absolutely.
You were like, what?
Sitting out there.
Did Shirley see it?
No, she wasn't there.
Ah, go figure.
But there's my fishing pole.
Was there anybody there that could
Well,
attest to this?
Andy was a ways away. He didn't see it.
So there literally was no one around to see this whale.
Unless there could have been some security cameras somewhere.
Okay. Or another whale watching.
I'm a whale watching boat.
A whale watching boat.
I'm sitting there. In half a second, I have my fishing pole going up, and on the end of it is the fishing line going like this in the wind. Seriously.
And you're looking at it going, there's nothing on the end of it.
I'm like, this is what I was. I couldn't even say,
really?
are you kidding me?
Right.
I couldn't even say it. I was literally speechless.
Well, I'll be honest with you. That is kind of disappointing. If I had gone through all that work, I probably would have thrown my pole in the water and left.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you know what? And done with this.
10 minutes later, after sitting there stunned like this, 10 minutes later, started the, are you kidding me?
Right.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
And I'll bet you the whale was watching from the other side of the pond
100%,
laughing,
100%.
saying, you thought you had me.
I'm saying no one's going to believe me. No one's going to believe this story.
Oh, I believe you.
I got home and I pulled Sherilyn aside right away, and I'm like, please sit down with me. Please sit down.
Hold me.
I need to talk to you. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe how big this was. But I know that this is something that's happened to other people.
Right.
I don't know if it was as big. I find it hard to believe that anyone has had a fish on their line bigger.
You probably
what I
hit the
had?
record.
I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
So last night, I called Garrett Sicily, who's a friend and a professional fisherman.
Right.
Like the real deal.
Right.
Like he's got sponsors and the whole 9 yards.
Yep.
Call him up. I tell him this whole story. And I'm like, buddy, how big could it have been? In other words, how big can a bass get
Right.
in a Vermont lake? Not Lake Champlain,
Right.
but, a regular-sized lake.
Yeah.
And he said upwards of 10 pounds, maybe even more. And, of course, he's asking me, what test is the fishing line? What
Right.
test? How am I supposed to know?
Right.
How old is the fishing line? Has it been on your fishing rod for a couple of years? I'm like, it's been on my fishing rod for like 15 years. Has it been on for more than 1 year? So now, I'm learning these things. What did you have the drag set at? I don't know.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was a drag.
But he said that it was probably, and I'm like, buddy, I swear to God, it had to be 2 feet. Am I out of touch with reality? And he said no. He said you could have had a 10-pounder 2 feet long on the end of your line.
Wow.
There's some metaphors here about this and life, and I don't even want to talk about that.
I was going to say, you're not going to get deep now. Would you have released it after you caught it?
Of course I would have.
Wink, 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 wink. I would never take that home and eat it.
No, never. Did you hear about this child who ordered some Dum Dum lollipops using mom's Amazon app on
No.
her phone?
No. Tell me about this dum-dum that did this.
This was a big story. I'm
You're gonna bring it up.
I'm gonna play it for you.
Okay.
You got to hear this. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right.
Bring it on.
Stand by. Hopefully this is going to work here. This caught my attention. I'm like, I got to tell G about this.
To the viral stars that had a bird's eye view of the papal conclave this week.
Really,
as
guys?
the tens of thousands of people gathered in St. Peter's Square
Well, that's
kept
not
a
the
close
story.
eye on the chimney atop the Sistine Chapel, waiting for that white smoke. Rome's
second
seagulls
here.
had
Hold
the
on.
best seat in the house.
Hold on a second. That's not it. Jeez.
Seagulls.
Let's see.
It
Here
was
we go.
Willie Geist.
Maybe
I don't
this.
really like committing to things.
Let's see if I can find it here. I thought that was it. The 8-year-old son
Uh-huh.
ordered 70,000 lollipops.
Boy.
Kentucky accidentally ordered more than 70,000 Dum Dum lollipops on Amazon. Leah's mom, Holly, said her son spent $4,000 while playing with her phone. Amazon told her to reject the delivery, but despite tracking it, 22 boxes showed up. She did manage to reject the remaining 8 boxes, but that still left them with all those lollipops. And Holly's community, they stepped up. Banks and doctors' offices buying the boxes, and some were also donated, which is a good thing. And Amazon eventually agreed to refund the full amount, saying they're glad they were able to, quote, turn a sticky situation into something sweet.
Oh my God, buddy.
That's awesome.
$4,000.
That's awesome. $4,000 worth of lollipops.
And then Amazon says, no, we're not going to refund you.
Yeah. But then they did.
They did, but only after there was a shit ton of press on it.
Yes. And that's why I always say to people, instead of fighting with business or whatever, bring it to the press.
Yeah.
Because the press, just getting the story out there can be enough to sway the outcome.
Unreal.
That's funny.
$4,000.
That's hysterical.
And then the community comes together and starts up a little GoFundMe to foot the bill here.
yeah, I think
Unreal.
that's funny.
Have you heard about the new Starbucks? Did I send this to you last night?
Yes.
It's a Starbucks cup of coffee.
Yeah.
That's
New flavor.
New flavor.
Mhm.
That's $45.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Someone figured out the way to get the most expensive item on the Starbucks app. It's called the Venti Maca Creme Frappuccino. 12 shots of espresso. Yeah.
Bada bing.
Comes with a free hospital bill. So here it is. I'm just looking here. The base drink is $6.25,
Right.
which robbery in itself.
Yeah.
The 12 espresso shots add another $15. Then the 12 shot bumps. I don't know what this is. Brings it up another $15. And then let's see, you get the mocha and the dark caramel sauce. That's $1.60. You get the caramel drizzle. That's 60 cents. The Frappuccino chips and 1 pump of chai. That's $1.60. The caramel crunch topping is 50 cents. The vanilla bean and chocolate malt powder, 4 scoops, by the way, that's $1 each. And then the whipped cream, which is, free.
They threw that in there.
Yeah, well, that's free.
That's nice.
Thank goodness.
Well, it makes it. You're like, hey, I'm spending all this money, but I'm kind of getting some free stuff.
You're getting something free. That's a great point.
Yeah. Always look at the glass as half full.
I would think the same thing if you and I were to go get one of these.
Yeah. It'd be like, oh, my God, JD, look.
You got-
free whipped cream. And since it's free, I'd be like, top it off a little bit more. Give me some more.
$41.55, and with tax, $45.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you like Starbucks coffee?
I've had it, and I don't.
I'll be honest with
I
you.
don't.
Every time I have had Starbucks, I've gotten sick.
Really?
Every time, whether it be just a coffee or their white mocha, white chocolate mocha,
Yeah.
whatever it is, I have always afterwards, my stomach has been upset,
Yeah.
and I feel like, why did I have it?
Yeah.
So now when I go by a Starbucks, I'm like, get it away from me.
The last one I had was a pumpkin spice latte, and it was a couple of years ago, and it was like $10, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
But have you had the Dunkin' Donut? Let me tell you. Have you had that Dunkin' Donut white caramel drizzled iced coffee yet?
Is that stupid shit you got last time we were there?
Yes. It is literally like 4,000 calories, okay? And it is so good. So yesterday I stopped at Starbucks to get 2 days ago to get myself one of these giant heart attacks waiting to happen.
Sure.
And I get up to the window and there's a line behind me.
Of course.
Okay, a line. And I get up to the window after ordering it and paying for it. I get up to the window and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. 10 minutes goes by. Still frickin' waiting.
Yes.
I'm in the car with Tracy and her mom. Her mom is up from Ecuador.
Lord.
So,
have
yes,
mercy.
she's up for the month. So we were in the car. We went to the nursery to buy stuff, and I bought an amazing thing. But 10 minutes. And I'm looking at the line behind me going, these people must hate us.
Yes. Of course they do.
The guy comes over to the window and says, I'm sorry it's taking so long. We're training somebody. Now,
The last person on the planet he should be saying that to you is you.
okay, I understood training, but when you have a line that goes around Dunkin' Donuts all the way to the other side where the order area is, that's when you look at the trainee and say, let me do this, let's get caught up, and then we'll start training you again. Nope. I sat there. I finally had to tell the guy, please let the cars behind know that it wasn't my order,
Of course it was your order.
that it was the trainee's job, that's what took so long. But yeah, it is the most amazing drink. But Starbucks, not so much.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a fan.
It almost sounds like you are kind of segueing into what burns my ass.
Yeah. There's a couple of things that burn my butt lately.
Who's going to go next, me or you?
You may
it
go.
doesn't matter.
You may go because it takes you 4 hours to tell a 2-second story. So you go first.
You sound like Chuck now.
Well, because it's true.
I'm at a Chinese buffet.
Why didn't you just say buffet? Why do you have to identify it?
I'm at a buffet
Okay.
in White River, and I'm there with a friend.
Yep.
And this guy behind us in the next booth behind me, directly behind me, I hear
His phone?
that's his phone ring,
Ugh.
really loud.
Ugh.
And this is what I hear. Yellow!
Oh, my gosh.
Now, first of all, what is yellow?
Yeah, it's the new hello.
Chuck does this.
Yeah. Yellow.
You ever heard Chuck answer the phone?
No.
Oh, he doesn't do a quick yellow. He does a long yellow.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
So we get that. And right off, I'm going, oh, boy.
Here we go. Yeah.
This is what I heard. Well, that's bullshit. If he thinks I'm going to freaking do that deal, that's not the way it went down. That's not the way it went down. Yeah, well, tell him to blah, blah, blah. Get on the email and blah, blah. And he's going on and on and on. For how long? Not 10 minutes. 20 minutes.
Wow. You're not out of the cup, right?
I'm
You're-
not
you're
out of the cup.
keeping it. Okay.
I'm still in the cup.
Okay.
And that fish was this big. No, I'm serious.
I know.
I'm
Humpback
like
whale.
20 minutes of listening to
Oh, my
this guy.
gosh. You didn't say something? You know I would have been on that.
I know you would have been.
I would have tapped him on the shoulder and said, easy, buddy, easy. There's people around.
Why? Oh, forgot to mention, very important thing.
Okay.
He was on speakerphone.
Oh, my God. Why do people do that? Why do they pick up their phone, yell out, and then hit it speaker, and then hold it there and let the whole what? Here, right here. Look, ear.
Do I
Not
need to,
ear, air.
do I need to hear your whole two-way conversation?
No. That's why I have a head thing that I put in my ear, so when I'm talking, I don't have to hit the phone, and nobody hears it but me. What's wrong with people?
And it went on, bud.
But you didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything. I just sat there and stewed.
See, I would have been like, I would have answered things. Like when he's like, I'm not going to, I was like, I'm not doing it either. Good for you. I would have jumped in like I was part of the conversation. That's what I would have done.
Why is it necessary to, first of all, don't get on the phone and be all loud and shit.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't need to shout.
Right.
They can hear you.
Right. And don't share their side of the conversation, too. By having it on speakerphone, you're getting both sides, theirs and his.
One time, I was at a all-you-can-eat buffet,
Surprise.
and I'm not, I'm not kidding you on this. This was years ago.
Okay.
Years ago. 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm sitting there. I'm not bullshitting you, G. I'm sitting. Please, I'm not bullshitting
Okay,
you. I
we're
know
in the
you're
cup.
thinking he's going to bullshit me right now.
Nope. I reserve the right.
I'm sitting there and I'm literally eating sushi, which I love sushi.
Right.
Raw tuna sushi
Uh-huh.
with the green. What's that?
Yeah.
the-
The seaweed or the whatever it is.
yeah. And I'm eating this, and there was a lady who was across from me.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't on speakerphone. I'll give her that. But this is what she was saying as I was eating my, what now?
Raw sushi.
Tuna.
Yeah.
What
tuna.
color's tuna?
Oh, it's orange.
And
Reddish.
kind of reddish pink.
Oh, no, don't. Oh, no, people, cover your ears.
Well, have you told Judy? Have you told her that she's overdue for an internal? Why not? Joanne, she needs a pap smear, and you know that. This is nothing to be fooling around about. She's got to have a pap smear.
That's awesome. That's when I turn around with my sushi and say, and if it looks like this, she's okay. Oh, what's wrong with people?
Is there anything that burns your ass?
Oh, yeah.
Please go next.
Yes. I was driving down Montpelier Main Street.
Are you exaggerating?
No.
Okay.
No. And let me tell you, I cannot stand. I'm sorry, people. I don't like Montpelier. It's not a town for me. Okay? And I have a multitude of reasons, but I'm not going to get into it. So when I'm driving down Montpelier Main Street, I'm focused on getting out as quickly as possible. Following the speed limit, but getting out as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And I cut off to the side, one of the side roads.
Did you just say you cut someone off?
No, I cut off to the side. I didn't stay on Main Street.
Okay.
I was on the side.
All right.
And I'm driving, and now I must be going about 15 miles an hour.
Okay.
Because on the side roads, you got to slow it down.
Yeah.
So I'm going 15, and this woman is walking with her child, who couldn't have been more than 8, 9 years old. Okay? She has the child on the street side of the curb,
You're pissing me off right now.
and she's on the grass side of the curb.
Why are you boosting my blood pressure like this?
I don't know. And as she's walking, and I'm going not even more than 15 at this point, and when I see a child walking on the sidewalk, I always move over to the left more, almost like in the middle of the lane of the road, so as to give myself more clearance from anybody that could run into the road.
Of course.
I do the same thing when I stop at a crosswalk and somebody's crossing.
Sure.
A lot of people, once they pass your car, they go. I wait until they pass my car and get on the curb on the other side. That's when I go. Because you never know if they're going to turn around, they drop something, whatever. So I always wait until they're back on the other side of the road. So I saw this kid with his mom. He's on right by there, the road. So I moved over to the middle, still going 15. The kid runs toward the street. The mother moves quickly and grabs the kid's arm and looks at me and goes like this. Ready? And I'm like, what? And so I looked at her and I went like this. And she's like, angry at me because her child was heading toward the road and I was over and only going 15. What burns my butt is the fact that, first of all...
Please don't say butt, say ass, because it's called what burns my ass.
What burns it is you should always have the child the furthest from the road. Her child was already set up to fail being on that side. And then she got mad at me that her child was lunging out into the road. I didn't give her the finger. I didn't do anything. I just went, what? Like, why are you mad at me? What did I do? Yeah.
You were...
Same thing with people walking their dogs. They walk them close to the road. I'm like, why? So that burns me like you wouldn't believe.
I am so glad you... Every week, something happens to us.
Every week I have to go to the doctors after this show just to get my blood pressure back down. Because this show gets me going.
Every week, something happens to you.
Yeah.
And something happens to me.
Yeah.
Where I say, oh, my God, that's going on Thursdays. What burns my ass?
Well, you know what else burns me? Ready?
Please.
I go to the pulmonary doctor yesterday.
Lord.
Now, if anybody's ever gone to pulmonary up in Burlington, there's one long reception desk, and there's two people sitting there. One on this computer, one on this computer.
Yeah.
There's a line to check in.
Show me with the hands.
A line here, a line here. Okay? I am the fourth person back on line here. See, nobody can see me because you're not showing them.
Okay. There.
Two lines.
Yeah.
I'm in line left. Fourth person back.
Okay.
There's about 6 people in line right. And I'm waiting while the lady's like, oh, my date of birth is 7/13. 13. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be one of those things. So I'm waiting and I'm waiting. Finally,
Got to be patient, G.
and I was. I stood there. I was on my phone. I was just ignoring everybody. I actually had the phone like this while I was standing, so people around me would know not to talk to me.
You should have been like, Judy, he needs
Yeah.
a pap smear.
Yeah. So I finally get to the front. Okay. I was going for a pulmonary breathing test, and then I was going to see the pulmonary doctor.
Yeah.
So it was two things. Get up to the front. She's like, name, date of birth. So I give it to her. And she's like, and you're here for what? I said, I'm here for the pulmonary test and then to see the doctor immediately after. Oh, so you're here for the test first? I was like, yeah. She goes, that's that line. I said, I'm sorry, excuse me? Well, that's that line over there. I says, ma'am, I've been standing in this line. There's no sign saying that there's specific. No, you have to get on that line because that's the one for the testing. I'm the one for the doctor's appointment. And I said, you are kidding, right? And she's like, no. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and check you in because you've been waiting. I'm like, whoa, favor. I'm getting a favor. Meanwhile, she's using the same computer as the other one with the same stuff. Yeah. No sign saying testing on this aisle. Nothing. Just, oh, no, that's the other line. And I even turned to look at the other line, and there was like 7 people now. I was like, oh, hell no.
Did they go like this?
No. And then she said, well, you know, you're a little early. It's 12:15. Your appointment's at 12:45.
That always wants you to be early.
And I said, well, I'm coming from Barrie. I said, and I wasn't really sure where exactly to go once I got here, so I figured I'd come early. And she's like, well, I understand that, but you're a half an hour early.
Shame on you.
And I was like,
Now,
well,
you're so early that you've got plenty of time to wait in the other line, G.
yes, I know. So I said, well, that's fine. I don't mind waiting. So she's like, okay. So I go to sit down. Now, I'm going to sit. After I leave my line on the left, I'm going to sit. And as just about to sit down, she says, excuse me, Mr. Forbes? I'm like, yes. She goes, the testing seating is over there. I said, oh, okay, thank you. And I got up and I walked 3 chairs down to the testing seating area.
Was there a sign that said testing seating area?
No, nothing. When I got inside, the nurse was so lovely, and I said to her, she says, how are you? I says, a little perturbed. And she says, why? And so I told her what happened. She said, oh, my gosh, it doesn't matter where you sit. It's all in the same room. I said, thank you. She said, well, I'm so sorry that you went through that. I mean, she was lovely as pie, but oh, my gosh. Then when I left, they said, just check out. On your way out, just check out, and you can go. We don't need to see you again unless you have any breathing issues, because I have asthma. So
Yeah.
I go there. I says, okay. So I go to the front. The same lady, because now I came out of the doctor's side, and she's the doctor's side. So I went to her, and she looks at me, and she says, can I help you? I said, yeah, they told me to check out. Okay. And your name? So I gave her the name, date of birth. She pulls it up. She goes, yeah, there's not... Is there something I need to do? I said, excuse me? Is there something? I mean, do they want you to come back? I says, no more coming back, no more tests, nothing. They just wanted me to check out. Oh, so you're just leaving? I was like, yeah. She goes, oh, then go ahead and go. I says, okay, they told me to stop here. Yeah, nope, that's fine. Have a good day. And I was like, does this woman, is she new? Is there something I need to do? She's asking me if there's something she needs to do to check me out. Yeah. And that burns me.
You or your ass?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Oh, it burns my ass. Trust me. But yeah.
stupid criminal file this morning?
Yes.
Can't make it up. Not going to make it up.
Am I
Real-
sitting? Am I sitting down?
Yeah, I hope you are.
Okay.
Real people,
Mm-hmm.
real stories,
Real
stupid.
stupid.
Criminals.
It's the triple real, people.
This is
real
true.
people,
This-
real stories, real stupid.
Once again, and I've said this before, if you don't believe me, please
Look it up.
Google it yourself.
Yep.
This guy just stole an
Oh my gosh. You're already laughing.
an 800-pound cannon.
Oh, yes.
You heard about this?
Yes.
To settle a drug debt.
Yeah.
38 years old. He's from Kansas.
Some drug debt.
Should we give his real name?
Why not?
Gordon Pierce.
Congratulations, Mr. Pierce. You won the stupid contest.
He stole a rare Spanish-American War cannon from a from a park.
From a park?
From a park to pay off his drug dealer. This guy, you could almost say this guy's a loose cannon. Just saying.
That's awesome.
He let's see here. Let me just read the story. He wasn't a history buff. If he was a history buff, he wouldn't have stolen cannon. He owed his drug dealer $20,000 and was worried that the man would kill him and his family if he didn't pay. So he told police that he was scouting copper statues to steal and make the money. And even got a homeless person to help him rip it out of the ground, which is so, isn't that nice? That's so
absolutely.
nice. Used a chain and a Chevy Tahoe to drag it away, got some tools, cut it up into 4 or 5 pieces, took the pieces to his drug dealer to show them that he was, doing his due diligence and putting forth some effort to repay this debt. I'm doing all I can here.
Right.
The drug dealer was not impressed, not happy, called his plan stupid. And then one of Gordon's friends, God bless him, turned him in. Gordon has been charged with theft of property, aggravated criminal damage, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Well, that 800-pound Spanish-American War cannon over there looks pretty good. Plenty of copper in that. That ought to do the trick.
How stupid can people really get?
Are you and I stupid?
No.
Okay.
No. We act stupid
Yes.
because that's what we do.
Yes.
But yeah. I have a question for you.
Yeah, please.
Can I talk about one of my visions that I have for me doing here
Please.
through your production? Am I allowed to talk about it?
Please, yes. you
Because I
can.
kind of want to get some viewer insight,
Yes.
get some feedback.
Yes.
Okay? Because what I'm thinking of doing, people, is, with JD's help, of course, is I want to start my own podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do a once a week for an hour and a half podcast live.
Mm-hmm.
And I want it to be a call-in
Mm-hmm.
interaction with callers
Sure.
who have opinions on topics. And I want the topics to be very broad. I want it to be local politics, national politics, religion, drugs, schools, whatever the topic is that we choose for that day.
Scars and stretch marks?
Yeah, not so much.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I'd like to do it where I do it live, where I talk about something. Sometimes I'll have people on the show as well. But the plan is for people to call in and be able to throw in their opinions and their ideas on that topic so
Sure.
that we can discuss. I don't want it to be somebody calling in saying, I haven't drank in 4 months and now I started drinking. I don't want, I'm not going to be your therapist. Okay? I want to hit some really, really intense topics with humor,
Okay.
with almost Howard Sternish,
Yeah.
where we kind of say whatever we want to say. with some TED Talk kind of feel to it, some
Okay.
Howard Stern kind of feel to it, some G style,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And I'd like to know with the viewers here if that's something that they would tune in and want to see, and also topics that they'd like me to cover.
Okay.
Serious topics, funny topics, all that stuff in the style that I am, in me style, not in the
Wait a second.
JD style.
What
or-
did it say? You're saying you're not going to change for others?
No, I'm not going to change at all, not even a little bit. But I'd like to be able to sit down and talk about things that people are thinking
Yeah.
and say what they're thinking but afraid to say.
Sure.
And it's easier for them to say it when they just call in because they can call in anonymously, whatever the case may be.
Right,
And if
right.
there's a disrespectful caller,
Yeah.
and I will say this at the beginning of every show,
Sure.
if there's a disrespectful caller and
Yeah.
I'm, you're on the air with G and they say, I think you're the biggest asshole. I says, I will hit the hang up button without saying goodbye or anything
Yeah.
because I'm not looking for negative insulting.
Sure.
I'm okay with negative. I have big shoulders. I can handle
Okay.
ridicule and stuff like that. But I'd like to do a show like that.
Okay.
So, and something, it could just be something as simple as the G-Spot tell-all or whatever we decide to call it.
Yeah.
And it'll be something that will come on every week.
Okay.
90% of the time it'll be live.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be out of town, then I will pre-record.
Okay.
And I'll usually have a guest when I pre-record so that there's more interaction with another person.
Okay.
But that's what I'd like to do,
All right.
is I'd like to do something. And I'm curious if anybody has any names for me to title it.
Well, that would be cool as hell.
Because we've been talking names.
Yeah.
And it could be the G-Spot story or the G-Spot news or whatever the case may
There's
be.
got to be there's something better than that.
Yeah, there's got to be something better than that.
Yeah.
But I want to tie in the G-Spot, but at the same time, G-Spot belongs to Aired Out and to us.
Yeah.
And I'd like, since you're Fly on the Wall production, I've asked you to produce it. Okay, I've asked you to run the show with me.
Yeah.
But that's something I'd like to do,
All right.
and I'd like to get on it as soon as possible.
Let's get this ball rolling. Can
Yeah.
Jed come in here and
Set it up.
set it up?
Of
I
course.
mean, I can show you a couple of buttons to press too,
Yeah.
but I mean, he's going to be able to set it up
Yeah,
better, faster, more efficiently
yeah.
than
But
me.
it'd be a daily dose of G-Spot once a week.
Lord have mercy.
So you'd see me on Thursdays here, but you'd
Yeah.
also see me on my own show that we don't know what we're naming it yet.
You are somebody who has a lot to say.
And
about
I have
a
no
lot of things.
I have, and the thing is, people always see me as funny, that he's joking around or he's sarcastic, but there's a lot more up here.
A lot more.
And when it comes to interviewing and talking to people and hearing people, I'm
Yeah.
really good at that.
Yes, you are.
I just like to be a jackass on here because we're going toward the weekend, and
Yes.
Thursday mornings is a good way to say, you know what? Here we come. We're coming into the weekend, and it's going to rain for the fucking 15th time.
Oh!
Every Saturday is rain, rain, rain. So let's get a little bit of G-Spot in on Thursdays, which is great.
Okay.
But I'd like to also do an interactive show
Okay.
in which we hit topics, and
Yeah.
people can write in, and I'll give them an email and give them a text number that they'll be able to reach me at.
Okay.
When I'm not on the show, you can text all you want. I don't respond,
So, yeah, absolutely.
but
So
that's what I'd like to do.
So here's the thing, and I was just talking with my new friend Brittany about this, and this is something that I have been wanting to incorporate for a long time, and by God, I just have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's having a number that people can call in on.
Right. Right, because
and
we don't want to use
it's-
our own number.
Right. It's got to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to have that ability.
Right.
For,
I will send you that information we talked about
All right. Well,
for the phone line.
Brittany's helped me out with this too. She's
Okay.
taught me something new. So I've got to incorporate that soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to happen
Yes.
because I want people to call in and have fun,
Weigh in.
but also give information
Yeah.
and also, goof around, but
Right.
also get into the thick of some conversation.
Right.
This podcast is my niche is that I don't have one. You know that. I mean, look
Right.
at yesterday. Pat Fish was
Yeah.
in here, and it was unbelievable. But it was generally some pretty serious conversation.
Right.
Brittany was in here the day before from the Chupta podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't even remember who I had on Monday. Foggy. Tomorrow Rex is going to be in here, and
Mm-hmm.
Lord have mercy on all of us. I mean, we're still trying to tame.
Some beasts you just can't tame, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be in tomorrow, but it's like, I love doing all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
on this podcast,
Yeah.
goofing around,
Yeah.
telling stories, real, raw, relevant, relatable.
Right. Right.
That's it.
And that's why I want something that, like I said, I've always enjoyed, didn't necessarily love the style, but I've always enjoyed Howard Stern
Yes.
for the topics that he would hit.
Of course.
Not necessarily agree with all his views and stuff, but we
Right.
don't have to agree with everybody's views.
Right.
Okay? But I've always loved the fact that when he hits a topic, he hits it hard.
Yes.
And people call in, they have things to say, and,
Right.
and he has no problem telling people, oh, shut up, you sound like an idiot, and hanging up on them.
Sure.
I don't want to be insulting to people,
Yeah.
but
Right.
I want to be able to hit a topic.
Yeah, right.
Okay, hit the fact that the Pope is from the U.S. now, and why is that such a big, huge deal when there's so many other issues out there that need to be addressed? Why is it that we're constantly complaining about certain things when other things are much more important? Why are the kids in school have so much time to stick metal things into Chromebooks and not
Light them on fire.
and not be supervised enough that doesn't happen? Or
Right.
why are we walking our children on the side of the road instead of by the I
Right.
want to be able to hit topics.
Why is a guy squatting and taking a shit in front of the gazebo in Berry City Park in the middle of the day? Things
Yeah.
like that.
Well, things like that, but also a little bit deeper conversations. I want to get into talking about religion and how religion has
Whoa.
gone so askew
Whoa.
from what it used to be, or the politics of why is it, the politics are going in the direction they're going, and how do people feel about certain things. And, I want to be able
You
to
just said
hit,
politics and religion?
yeah, I want to be able to hit any topic that people want to hear. I don't want to pick a topic that I want to hear. I want to pick topics that people want to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm going to make available soon a spot where people can message me, or they can go on a
spot?
site.
A spot?
Yeah,
G's spot.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Where people can message me and they can say, hey, can you work in such and such sometime? And I can
Yeah.
put that in my book of topics that we're going to hit over time.
Sure. You and I met, I don't know, 20 years ago,
Yep.
something like that. You have never, ever been afraid of a microphone
No.
and never been afraid to say it, whatever
I used to
you're-
be on Froggy with you. Remember?
Yes.
I'd come on Froggy. The first time I came on Froggy, you were like, okay, don't be nervous. You're going to be. And at the end of the show, you were like, have you done this before?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, but
I also had my program director come up to me afterwards and go, who the hell is that guy? What's his deal?
and what's wrong with him? Like, is he a real person?
Yeah.
So that's what, and it may be, whatever we decide to name it. And I certainly, Glenn and Crystal and everybody, if somebody has an idea on a name, that's
Sure.
fine. We'd like to stick somewhere in the G-spot area, but not that title, because that title belongs to Aired Out.
It does?
I
I haven't paid any royalty
No,
fees
but
for
still,
that.
it's this is a sacred spot. I enjoy my Thursdays.
Yeah,
I enjoy
I do
clowning
too.
around. It gets me into the weekend.
Sure.
And when I'm not here, I'm disappointed.
Okay.
Like next
but-
week I'll be here. Yeah, next week I'll be here, but the following week I won't.
Yeah.
because I'm going down to South Carolina to visit my son.
Crystal's going to get all pissed off.
I know, Crystal. I'm sorry. I offered to call in on that day, but JD said, no, you're on vacation. Enjoy it. So fine. So anyway, so
Yeah,
that's
man.
what I wanted to throw out there and see if people had some ideas. They can also message me on Messenger.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll have a number for them soon that they can call.
I'm going to do the same thing.
And yeah,
I have been wanting to have a phone number here for the longest time,
yeah.
and it's like it's got to happen. It's going to happen.
Okay.
Like really
Well,
soon.
and I want
Has to.
people to say if that's something that they would want to see, because I don't want to do something if everybody's like, nah, it sucks, then I don't want to do it. But I'm just,
Right.
it's something that I'm kicking around, and
I
you and
love
I have
that.
been talking about the logistics of it. So we need to get feedback now. I need feedback.
I love it.
All right.
I love, I love goofing around with you. I love, haven't had a chance yet, and I
Right.
will to tell everyone about all the fake flowers out in front of your house. That's coming.
That's a thing.
That's coming.
I have tons of real plants, but I have 2 urns, and in the urns right now, actually I have plants coming in for them, but in the urns out front, it's some fake plants. And JD right away when he came over took pictures of them and said, I'm reporting you for having fake flowers.
And I tried to pee on them.
And you did try to pee on them, yes,
Yeah.
which is something you do every time you come to my house. You find something to pee on.
I'm just leaving my scent.
I know. But if you drive past my house, 99.9% of the plants out there are all real, except for the ones in the urn
Okay.
that you had to get all sorts of anal about. And I was like, buddy, calm down. You're like, gee, what is this?
Listen, I got to tell you, you're selling your own sauces now. Your
Yeah.
own Italian sauces.
Yeah. They
Made
even have it on what's that? What's that stupid feed? Next door or neighbor or whatever it is. I don't know what it's
no,
called.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But
It's next door. The platform that people use. Anyway,
Front Porch Forum?
that's the one.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, yes.
But you sell these, you make Italian sauce
Italian recipes.
from
family recipes. yes.
family recipes from
Yeah.
Sicily.
Yep. And we had somebody buy 2 cases of the pizza sauce.
Yes.
And she messaged me the other day and says, everybody frickin' loves your sauce. She says, thank you so much. I'm so blessed to have met you.
That was Shelby,
Yeah. Yeah.
great lady,
Yep.
up at Bogey Brothers.
Yeah. And she uses it to make pizzas and stuff for her, the kids and everybody that are on the tracks
The
there.
motocross track.
Yeah.
You also make this,
The oils. Yep.
the Papa G's infused oils.
Which one is that one? Is that the fennel? Is that it should be at
this
the
is
bottom
the
left?
vanilla. This is the vanilla
The
one.
vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the vanilla, the fennel. I have all different ones.
Amazing. So
I haven't
people-
mate sauces in a while.
how do people get in touch with you to buy some of your products?
Oh, they can
I not buy, to donate.
donate to me. I have a donation fee that I like to charge, but that's something I discuss with people on a one-on-one basis.
How do people get in touch with you?
What's my handle on Facebook?
It's G-Man.
Is it G-Man?
I think it's G-Man.
I don't even know. I never pay attention to
Yeah.
my handle.
Do you want to throw your cell phone out? No, probably
No.
not. All right.
No, what are you, crazy?
G-Man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's G-Man.
You don't even know what your own
I don't pay attention. That's a G-Man Forbis, Forbis.
Becky wants to know if you ship. She'll pay all the shipping.
Yeah, I'll ship.
Okay.
Yeah, it's G-Man Forbis. And, just send me a private message and let me know you're interested. I have, as far as the sauces go, I have Impossible Meat sauce.
Yeah.
I have...
Which I'm a pro meat guy.
Yeah.
And I tried this and I loved it.
Yeah.
Gave me a little gas after,
Did it?
but I still loved it.
Yeah.
I
whatever.
still loved it.
That's fine. And then I have the herb sauce, which is all fresh, 100% fresh herbs put in
Amazing.
it.
Amazing.
Then I have the sausage sauce,
Yeah,
which
love it.
is cooked with all ground sausage. And then I have the regular chopped meat sauce. And I also have the pizza sauce, which people always say, what's the difference between like an herb sauce and a pizza sauce? And the difference is really very simple. Pizza sauce, you don't want the chunks of tomatoes and all that stuff in there.
Sure.
Because you want to be able to pour it on the dough and smear it out without having chunks all over the place.
Right.
Now, if you want to make a pizza with the sausage sauce or whatever, that's up to you.
Can.
But the pizza sauce has no chopped tomatoes or anything in it. It's just strictly herbs and spices and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So I have that. And
Your house must smell
smells Italian.
incredible.
Smells Italian. I mean, what can I say? I'm Italian.
One more time, an explanation of the drink that you have, because I'm noticing it's empty. Please share.
My Powerade Zero
Yeah.
with the number 5.
Yeah. What's 5?
The 5 is how many...
Show that on the camera. Yeah. What's this all about?
The 5 is how many weed drops I put into my drink in the morning or at nighttime or whatever.
Okay.
And last night, I think I put a little bit too much weed drops in.
Yeah.
So when I went to bed, I fell right to sleep, which is great. But I woke up this morning feeling a little bit like I had some weed in me still. So to counter that, the hair of the dog is to put some drops in your current drink, and it helps bring you right back up. So
Beautiful.
yeah, so that's what I had. So
That's so nice.
and you know what's funny is people always like, oh my God. Well, first of all, I don't smoke pot. I don't do any drugs or anything like that. But I used to, whenever I got upset or emotional or whatever, I would have a Valium. My doctor had ordered me. He'd give me like 10 Valiums, and as long as I didn't take them all at the, within 10 days, he would refill it. So if you give me 10 Valiums, it would get me through 3 months, because I really don't take it a lot. But when I'm feeling really stressed, I'll pop one or whatever. So I asked him for a prescription again, because I hadn't had, the last prescription was like 4 months ago. And he says, have you ever tried doing gummies or something like that?
Yeah.
He says, because those are not bad for you. They're not addictive. And where Valium is addictive,
Mm-hmm.
and if you do too much, you could be addicted to it. Now,
Sure.
like I said, 10 pills over 3-4 months, obviously I'm not addicted to it. But
Right.
he said to go more generic and not be on a pill kind of thing. So I started doing gummies, and he said 100%. It doesn't affect other medications you take. It doesn't alter you unless you do too many and you want to be stupid. So I do my gummies. So I don't smoke pot. I'm not a stoner. I'm not this and that. But a couple of drops here, a gummy at night to help sleep. Nothing wrong with that.
So if you took too many, you might want to try to jump a parked car on your bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or jump off like, a 20-story building
Yeah.
onto another 20-story building, because that's what they do.
Or try to make it to the swimming pool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they miss and they hit the concrete.
Before we skip out,
Yes.
I always get a message, either a text or an email from someone saying, please ask G what his take is on this.
Yes. The
This-
Ask G moment.
Well, it's a little bit of it's always kind of a dilemma,
Uh-huh.
and I've got one right here. And this lady goes on and on and on.
Okay.
Big long email.
So I'll give a one-word answer as a response.
Saying that she's thinking about consulting a relationship expert. She started dating this guy, and when they got talking, they had a great first date, lots of laughter. As a joke, they were talking about hobbies that they enjoy. She said, one of my hobbies is scrolling people on TikTok.
Scrolling? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Or, I'm sorry, trolling.
Trolling. Okay.
Trolling people.
That's what I was like, scrolling. Okay.
And this guy had a laugh with her, a good, healthy laugh.
Uh-huh.
But he hasn't been in touch since their first date, which she says went very, very well,
In her opinion, yes.
in her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But she thought it was also his opinion. But now that she's admitting that she likes to troll people on TikTok, whether she was just joking or not, you're nervous on the first date. You're trying to be funny. You're
Right.
trying to break the ice, loosen things up a little
Right.
bit.
And say things you probably shouldn't say.
Well, yeah, what do you like to do? Oh, I like to troll people on TikTok. Oh,
Yeah.
And he's ghosted her.
Uh-huh.
And now she's saying, WTF?
Mm-hmm.
What's G's take on this?
I don't know because I don't know how that went down.
Did she cook her own goose?
I think talking about trolling people, trolling people isn't really very, isn't pleasant. It isn't a thing that I enjoy hearing about. It's kind of creepy. It's like somebody peeping into a window watching somebody else. It's like weird. So if this person heard you talking about the fact that you like to troll,
Yeah.
he may have laughed it up because, well, he's in a situation where a captive audience, I'm at this table. I'm not going to just get up and walk out because I think that's weird.
Yeah.
But I think she might have cooked her own goose on that
You
one.
think so?
Yeah, it's like saying, I really love tying people up and beating them up and then setting them free. And the person laughs at you, and then they get in the car and they say, yeah, you're not going to tie me up and beat me up, bitch. And they leave.
I can't wait till I reach fifth gear.
Right? So, yeah.
Get
So
the hell outta here.
I think less is more, especially on a first date.
Interesting.
I think revealing your dark sides and your weirdness and quirkiness isn't necessarily. And what happens is we fall for that. We're laughing our asses off so much that we just keep going
Sure.
instead of knowing when to stop in that laughter.
Right.
So I think she might have overdone. And if she doesn't have his number and he didn't call her back, then move on. If she has his number, a simple text, hey, still interested? ? And if he doesn't respond, move on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you keep doing that, then you become a stalker.
And the next time you have a date,
Keep your mouth shut.
maybe not. Well,
Not so much on the trolling thing.
Yeah.
And on the creepy thing. Hey, just so you know, I know it's a first date and we're having a good time, but I love picking my nose and sticking it in my ear. Because that's a cute little quirk that I love doing. Isn't that funny? No.
Gee, I love you.
I love you too.
I already can't wait till next Thursday. What do you got going on the rest of the day today?
I'm going to be putting mulch down today.
Okay.
I ordered 2 yards of mulch, and I planted rhododendrons that are blooming. I
Beautiful.
planted yellow roses, double box roses.
Damn, fella.
So I know, and I planted lavender.
Wow.
And yeah, so I'm going to be putting down mulch today.
Wonderful.
Yeah, how exciting is that?
Watch out for the black flies, buddy.
Yeah, well, I want to get it done early, but it's also supposed to be raining on
Yeah.
and off for
That
the
could
next
help you.
for the next few days. Yeah, so I might go out when it's showering a little bit because then I'm safer.
Sure.
So plus the plants get the water while I'm doing it. So who knows?
When you're doing the mulching, shirt on or shirt off?
Shirt on.
Okay.
And let me tell you, those people, those 70-year-old men with the big gut and the hairy backs that wearing no shirt to cut their lawn, put your clothes on. We don't want to see it.